What is the Federal Court of Canada? What happens if you win? The Federal Court of Canada is, like the name suggests, it's a court. This is where most issues around immigration application refusals, among other things, can be brought forward to a judge to be reviewed. This is called a judicial review. There are two main steps when you want to make an application to the Federal Court of Canada. The first is called being granted leave. What that means is you're essentially going to put forward all of your arguments in paper form to a judge and ask them to consider that in a way that you can show you have a case. You have something that could be argued and is worth the court's time. If your leave is granted, meaning that you've been given permission to move forward, the second step is your hearing. If you win, that does not mean that you will eventually get the visa or permanent residency. What that means is that your decision will go back to IRCC, to immigration, to be reconsidered by a new officer. What this means is that there is a likelihood it could be refused again, but generally speaking, it's not as common to see another refusal, and you are given opportunities to update your file upon that reconsideration, given that there's a strong likelihood a lot of time has passed between when your initial application was refused, when you started federal court, when you essentially got through whatever stages of federal court you needed to, and then you're back at the reconsideration stage. We highly encourage looking at the federal court for temporary resident refusals. That could be visitor visas, study permits, work permits. We highly recommend federal court when somebody becomes inadmissible for misrepresentation. If your spousal sponsorship appeal has been refused or your parent-grandparent appeal has been refused, it might be worth looking at federal court as a final solution. That being said, the strength of winning a case at the federal court typically begins by looking at how well you created the original file, because at the federal court you cannot bring forward new evidence. So if your application is refused and you're thinking about the federal court, it's imperative that you get good legal advice through a consultation with an immigration lawyer who knows what they're doing.